everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the inaugural episode of Arabs in Dynamics. Throughout the episode, we'll be using both English and Arabic in the spirit of being accommodating of Arab people who are a huge part of this community, and we're really excited to be part of that representation here today. In some parts of the podcast, we'll be using predominantly Arabic, but there won't be any part that is hard to understand for anyone. It is going to be a bilingual experience, but through context cues, we hope that you'll come along with us. And like we all like to say in the Arab world, Yalla, let's begin. اهلا وسهلا جميعا. شكرا جزيلا لاستضافتكم لنا ولانضمامكم للبودكاست. هاي أول حلقة من الArabs in Dynamics podcast، وإحنا كتير متشوقين إن نحكي معكم، نشرح لكم عن الكوميونيتي اللي إحنا فيه، كيف نتعامل معه، و hopefully تتعرفوا علينا وتعرفوا شوية عنا وعن تجربتنا إحنا بالمايكروسوفت community. Claude, AJ, thank you guys so much for joining us. Would you like to give a quick introduction to yourselves?
Yeah, AJ.
يا أخ كلاود.
بلش أنا؟ طيب يلا رح أبلش أنا. أنا اسمي كلود رستم. أنا عايش بكندا بكيبيك. I'm a senior application consultant. ما بعرف كيف بيقولوها خالد بالعربي senior application consultant, but I'm working for a company named Innovia, America, based in America. I'm very happy to be like in the first session or the first episode of our Arabs in the community, in the Microsoft community. Thank you so much, Khaled, for the initiative also. AJ.
Thank you, Cloud. وأنا أجود أنصاري, or you could say AJ Ansari. It's what I tend to go by. And I am based in Houston, Texas. أشتغل ب DSWI. That's a Microsoft partner that's focused on Business Central and the Power Platform. وكمان I have a podcast by the name of Only BC Fans. It's more focused on Business Central, and a website on Copilot called Only Copilot Fans. It's more around AI and Copilot Studio. And what a fantastic, I think, initiative this is to do something for the larger Arabic diaspora of folks who are in the Dynamics and the Power Platform community. So just really excited to be part of this first podcast, gentlemen.
Thank you so much both. And as for me, أنا اسمي خالد نصرة. الأصل من فلسطين، عايش بفانكوفر كندا. We're really all across North America. We kind of make a triangle here with Montreal, Vancouver, and Texas. Excited to have you both, and excited to kick this off with you. Thank you so much for your initiative. I know we've planned this for months and months. Glad that we're finally coming around to it and able to record today. So maybe the first topic I would like to talk about is how has your experience been? Have you always been outspoken about your own personal identity? Has that been something that colored your view of how you exist in the community? I know that Ili, for example, especially because I'm Palestinian, this is a big part of how I exist in the community, and it's something that I bring forward. But also as an Arab in general and as an immigrant, it is a different experience, and even more so because I'm a Canadian. Oftentimes we're a minority compared to our American friends. So it is something that kind of colors my view of the community, but also allows me to exist in a unique way that I really cherish. Have either of you experienced similar things?
So by my background, I'll make a little bit of a joke about it here. I have some friends who will ask me, where are you from today? And it's because I do have a lot of different kind of ethnic backgrounds. I have an Arabic background from my mom's side, from coming from a part of Sardinia, and I was born and raised in Jeddah. And I have an Indian background also from my mom and my dad's side. That's over a longer day of coffee or the tea. I can share more details around it. And then along the way, I got naturalized as a Turkish and an American citizen. So whichever way you look at it, I think my kids are just incredibly confused. but specifically around the Arabic identity, I think it was such a big part of me kind of growing up, especially when you were born and raised in a country and you lived there for the first half of your life. But I think in the and it's I don't want to get so deep very early on into the conversation, but I came to the U.S. right after 9/11, and so I think for a while I felt the need to not overstate it. Right, I was never shy about it, but I certainly did overstate it. And I think over the years of being in this particular channel since about 2007. I think originally I would see a few people of an Arabic background in the community and we would have some sidebar conversations, but I don't know that I'd ever gone out of my way to highlight that. It's really only in recent years you feel with all the other communities taking great pride in highlighting, look, we're creating content for different people of different languages, people of different backgrounds. You kind of go, it's happening everywhere. Why not with the Arabic community? And I have to say a big thank you to Claude, because on the one hand, you think about this in the back of your head and you say, I want to, I should, I'm proud to say who I am, and I'm proud to say where I'm from, right? And especially as a Microsoft MVP, you want to further highlight kind of, use that podium or stage that you have to highlight a community and highlight the possibilities. But I think, Claude Rustom, you are the one who brought this first and kind of front and foremost into my mind when we met in Toronto. And you're so passionate about it that it got to me, and I'm like, we should, you only live once, hashtag YOLO, and Yalla, YOLO, and let's do something, let's make it happen. And then Khaled and Claude, I think you guys kept that fever going.
A small thing, Khaled, I was, like every conference I see AJ, and I need to talk to him. I don't know, the picture of AJ is... okay, now I can see. Like every time I need to meet him, like his information and education style, and I love to talk to him. And every time I'm trying to talk to him, he's over busy and surrounded with people, blah blah blah, and talking with everybody. Then when I was in Toronto, in a conference, I need to talk to this guy. I broke the borders, and hey, like. He told me, look, I have only 10 minutes. Then we ended up after probably 1 hour and a half talking. Like he forgot all his meeting, all his things, and he canceled everything, and we were discussing. Then during the call, hey, Khaled, can you come a little bit? Hey, most of the Arabic. Then we did about 10-15% talking together. Then we met again in Chicago, you remember, all together, and we had allowed 20% together. And that's what we love about the community. And thank you both. Like without you, I cannot do anything. And I'm very proud. أنا كتير فخور باللبناني. أنا كتير فخور إنه you are with us, and your information, AJ and Khaled, and the educational style is very important to share. The Microsoft business application. And we are ready to help anybody. You can search on LinkedIn. You will see, if you message us, we are always ready to help and answer directly. Next, Khaled. السؤال التالي.
I think it's لا بتعرف I think it's important to highlight يعني حتى بشيكاغو, I think from the very first time we had our informal meeting, we had non-Arabs at the meeting too. We had Paulina as our kind of honorary
Safira, the ambassador of the the non-Arab.
Ambassador of Mexico.
Yeah. Yes, it was a
but
great thing.
I think it shows that we want this to be welcoming, and we want to be able to share our knowledge in a way that's authentic. Like AJ mentioned, sometimes it's you're proud وعندك كل الفخر انك تكون من خلفيتك, بس بنفس الوقت it's hard to express it, it's hard to introduce it, and we want to make sure that this is a space where anyone can come in and share their experience, share their knowledge, share their education style, which I think is critical. And that's something we've heard, not just for us, like diaspora members in North America, but also for people, like we've spoken to some folks in Egypt, we've spoken to some folks in Lebanon. We're starting to kind of cultivate this community all around the world. And AJ, I know you have some things to say about how we're starting to build in Egypt. I'd love to talk about that and how we're going to make this a global experience.
Once again, I think this has been such a collective effort, but Cloud, I think you were the one, or Khalid, maybe you were the one who first reached out to Ahmed Rafiq, who is in Egypt, and he has been doing some content for that community for some time now, right? And he's been around. I know of him, and I don't think we had really ever done much together or anything together. But I see he's always on LinkedIn, and he's clearly creating a platform out for that community and creating content. But when I take a few steps back and I think back to some years ago, I don't know that there was any content around Dynamics and Power Platform in Arabic or for an Arabic community. And then you kind of see somebody who's starting and stepping it up, and you go, how do we work together? So I think we are, I believe we're looking for around the September timeline. We're going to collaborate with Ahmed and the community and create something, the three of us, at least as a starting gesture. Something with that community that's going to address the various aspects of Dynamics and Power Platform. And hopefully this will be the first of many. Ultimately, I think, Khalid, you highlighted something which is so important, that this is, while this is for the benefit of the Arabic community, it's not to the exclusion of anybody else, right? This
Correct.
is meant to be inclusive. This is meant to be helpful for everyone. And our hope is that by creating bilingual content, sometimes even if you don't fully understand, especially in the world of Netflix and Amazon Prime and so on, so we see content and community content across all different languages. People watch Arabic shows and Turkish shows and Chinese shows because we can just, between subtitles and sometimes with doublage or sometimes just with some subtitles, we can follow, and not just follow, we love it. And hopefully we have that opportunity to create content that will just get widely received and accepted and benefit everybody.
Yeah, I need to highlight also on a point that we will meet on 16th of September in Montreal. We will not be all together, like the three of us. Unfortunately, AJ will not be available, but me and Khalid we will be in Montreal. In October, we will be in Orlando together. Correct, AJ? In
Yes.
Summit, and we will be together in Poland in Directions. Correct? That's the plan.
Yes.
Okay, we are trying to do some things like, and probably the next episodes, we will not be three of us. One of us or two of us will be doing the session. Like, don't be surprised if AJ is not here. Like, no, we love AJ, but also his time. Like, we are trying to meet with multiple people, but also we have our work, we have our life also. Correct?
Yeah, and then you want to highlight so many great people who are in our community, right? If it's always the three of us, then the spotlight is not being shared with anybody else. And just from that first meeting that Claudio arranged out in Chicago at Dynamics Con, we saw how many really engaged people were. They came, like كان معنا أصحاب من جزائر صح؟
مظبوط، من جزائر كان معنا.
Two of them were from جزائر يعني من فرنسا. So yeah, I mean, there are people from all over the world who are coming and who are part of this community, and I think we want to highlight their stories and give them a platform, and our community then benefits. And then, Cloud, I think as you highlighted with those conferences that are coming up between this Directions and Summit, especially at those two, حتى لو كن غير رسمي, I think we're going to figure out a way to meet and have a small happy hour or something like that we can all come together and have a chance to share stories and do something. And I'm really sad that I won't be there in September, but I'm so excited about what you guys are going to be doing in Montreal. I think it's going to be fantastic. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And I think that's going to be that first step that you're doing, and I'm so excited about that.
Thank you, AJ. 100%. We're trying to highlight as many voices as possible. So if you're someone who wasn't at the meeting in Chicago, if you're not part of the group chats that we're starting, the communities that we're starting to build up, please reach out and let us know if you're interested. If you're interested in coming on the podcast, if you're interested in just talking about like your experience, we're hearing about so many different experiences. I have had the pleasure and the honor of interviewing a few different people from the community on my podcast too, on the Springboard podcast. And one thing that I've always heard is that the path to success is so serendipitous. I don't think any of us, like no two people in the whole Microsoft community have had the same path to arriving at ERP or Power Platform or CE. No one's in school and they're like, oh, my ultimate goal in life is to be a Business Central consultant. So we all kind of fall into it somehow.
Yeah.
And I think it's great to kind of map out the path for people. نورجيهم الخريطة كيف احنا وصلنا كيف هم بيقدروا يوصلوا what is required, what is needed, what is helpful, how you can build these connections, because ultimately this is a relationship business. And that's what we're doing, is building connections, building relationships that are meaningful. And I always like to say bankable. Like you can take this relationship to the bank and you know that it's going to be worth something. It's not just like a fluffy kind of introduction. If you make an introduction to any of us, we're all going to help you.
Yeah.
And we're more than happy to show you what we've done to get to where we are.
Yeah.
Do you think?
I think you said it so well. You know, I've never used the word serendipity. I think I always chose the much plainer, the accidental career, which again, you know, it's so much of what you're talking about. But Claude, I interrupted you, my friend.
No problem. AJ, what do you think about Summit? Not this year, next year, if we have like a session for Arabic, do you think they will accept to give us a spot for 1 hour to meet together and do a session in English/Arabic session? Do you think this is possible? Because I know that you are from the committee.
Well, I am on the outgoing part of the board, and I can't speak for the entire board. But
Okay.
I think if it's, and I think that if we have some traction by then, I think it's a lot easier. And I'm saying this out loud as if this were, or I'm saying this as if this were a private conversation, but anybody who watches the episode's going to hear it. But I like to think that when there is some momentum, it's a lot easier to ask somebody to make an exception. When it's new, everybody's always a little concerned. But I can't remember, Khaled or Claude, which event this was, but someplace we reached out, and originally we said, can we do it? At first, I think they said they would think about it, then بعدين جاوا, and they said, well, we want to, but we don't want this to seem like it's going to be excluding somebody. And then you kind of say, well, we're not trying to exclude anybody. Our goal is to make it more inclusive for our group, right? To make something for another group, but anybody really is welcome. So I think that's one of the things sometimes people worry about when you create a community. But over time, when they realize that this community has a large audience or a large attendance, it can be done. على فكرة, more than that, I think where we have an opportunity, gentlemen, is I know with certain communities, like the one that does Directions EMEA, and again, saying things out loud without necessarily having a whole plan behind it. Directions EMEA, they have been big support, and the company behind it, Directions for Partners, they have been big supporters for anybody who's wanted to create a Business Central Day event for a certain community. But what were the key requirements? It's that you're doing it as a one-day type of event that is free to attend. So number one. Number two, that it is usually going to be for technical and kind of, more like product content and less around leadership and the marketing and those types of things and where you're selling things. And number three, that if you're doing it for a specific geography, then you're doing it in a particular language. And that if you're doing it in Spain, it's a Spanish content event. And they've done this in Italy, it's an Italian event. And what they do is they are using their popularity as a platform to help advertise it and to get the word out. But other than that, كل المسؤولية, it's on the shoulders of the people organizing it. So I know in Spain, Roberto Correa and a few other, I think Miguel Yorca and so many guys, Javier, they're doing that BC Spain Day. And they've done that, I think, in Italy with Duilio and Stefano and maybe some other people. So there is possibly an opportunity, if we can find the right way of covering some costs and so on, that maybe we can do something like this. either in North America or, and this is really thinking big, الحلم الكبير, يعني if you say
Yeah.
somewhere out in the Middle East, yeah, Dubai or Riyadh or Beirut or wherever makes sense, where we can think people will come out and we do something like this for the community. And I am personally really invested in trying to make something happen first and foremost in two communities that were non-Arabic speaking. One was out in Mexico because I'm geographically close to it. And then trying to do something also in Istanbul because I have very close ties there and I travel there often. But maybe we have an opportunity in a year or 2 years to do something like this for the Arabic community. I mean, a full day of, imagine, Business Central, and naturally because Business Central works well with Power Platform, some type of a Business Central plus Power Platform type of a day. And we would do this for the community. I think it's entirely logical. بس نبدأ بسيشن زي ما قلت. بس I'm not sure. I can't make a promise. But if I have to use my influence or persuasion skills or friendships to try and make that happen, you better believe that I will do the best I can to convince whoever I can to make sure maybe we can make something like this happen. And John from DCI, if you're listening to this, or Michael, I hope you see from the passion that we have that this would only be a plus, and that there really isn't a downside to doing something like this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I vote for Riyadh, man. I love to go to Riyadh. The last time I visited Riyadh, it was probably 15 years, but now it's a new Riyadh. Like, it's nice to go and see what's going on. Okay, perfect. We have one session next week, correct? I don't know who will be doing that, but wait for it. And we will try to make 1 or 2 per month. And do we need to add something here?
We don't need to add anything, I don't think.
Khaled, I think you buried the lead, as they say. You guys should talk about, I think, one of the things we want to do, that we would like to set this up as a community, not just as a podcast, but maybe as we use the word, Arabs and Dynamics, but Anjad, I think this could become a website and a community and a place where we could coalesce a podcast, the sessions, all the other things that and form that under an umbrella. And not that there's any shortage of user groups and so on, but this is specifically for, I think, an interest group, if you will, right? I think that's the best way to use it, an interest or an affinity group. And being that, I think maybe we can work on doing something like that together. Khaled, if you want to talk some more.
You're 100% right, AJ. This will exist in its own kind of LinkedIn page, and we have a few things that are cooking. I think very soon you'll see that this expands more and more. Inshallah, قريباً website. We already have a group chat, so like I mentioned, if you're interested in joining, please let us know. So there are a few things that will grow out of this, especially the in-person events, the virtual events, the forums, to help people talk, share lived experiences, and be able to be within that community. We already have a similar analog with Dynamics Rising Stars, which will live in kind of the same community. This will be a very similar idea. So actually, we talked about Summit. This year we do have the first in-person Rising Star session that will be targeted at predominantly under 25-year-olds who are getting into the channel, but also anyone who's new to the channel is welcome.
So cool.
And we're excited to have something similar happen next up. So this is again, like, the more we can have seats at the table for everyone, the more successful we will be as a community. And I think that is the strength of our community, is how diverse it is, how accepting it is. So that's the mission. I'm excited to just grow it more and more with the two of you and everyone else who wants to be a part of this mission.
Wonderful. What a wonderful way to celebrate our heritage and culture, gentlemen.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Shabab, this has been amazing. Thank you to our listeners. Hopefully you got some benefit out of this. Hopefully you learned some Arabic words out of it. If you learned some, stop us and let us know what you've learned.
Put it in the comment. Put it on the comment,
Put it in the comments. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll teach you anything. No bad words though.
No.
It's just polite, business central words. We'll figure out Claude's title in Arabic next time, and maybe
Yeah,
I think I have one. Sheikh al-Shabab.
شكرا
Sheikh al-Shabab.
شكرا. If someone knows what is senior application consultant in Arabic, please put it in the comment also. I need to know.
Oh, that kind of title. I just thought in general. I thought, just a general
Thank you,
title
AJ.
for a
Thank you.
wonderful guy like Cloud. But yeah.
Thank you so much.
thank you so
Okay.
much. For,
Thank you, guys.
having me on.
شكرا.
Thank you so much, Rajat.
Bye bye.